some before about the dynamic of, okay, we just won a huge one last week. We got to make sure the kids are in the right frame of mind. And y'all came out and had a big statement win to open district. Just how well did the night go? What went well to be able to open it up the way y'all did?
So we talk about it all the time. It starts in practice, and we had a great Monday through Thursday. Today was a little bit different for us. So we actually were out of school because of fall break, but our kids mentally were locked in. Our defensive staff did a phenomenal job. Kraft and his guys had a great game plan, and we have some playmakers on the defense side. Luke Green's a kid that hadn't really had a whole lot of interceptions, had one tonight plus a punt return. Draylon August, a receiver, on a miscommunication, takes one to the house, and our defense was flying around. Our three linebackers, and they felt like they were everywhere tonight.
Yeah, y'all obviously stout from the beginning and containing them, and then it seemed like right after Braylon's touchdown, all of a sudden y'all were living in the backfield. It was tackle for loss, sack, tackle for loss. How much did things start to feel like they were snowballing from like an energy, momentum type standpoint once it did get going?
Absolutely. It's one of those things, playing against a team like that. One, it's impressive because people can say what they want about their schedule. They played who was on the schedule, and they handled them how they should have, scoring 55 a game. And so for us to hold them to 7 takes a lot of mental being the mental fortitude to lock in and regardless of what they've done before, just be able to line up and play. And Jaden Arsenault and Joseph Adams and our other defensive linemen have done a phenomenal job, but it also helps a similar scheme, so those kids see it every day in practice.
I asked Braylon, I was like, all right, I'm sure you play Madden. You probably know who Mike Vick is. I don't know if you remember some of the cheat code moments of the video game that existed before he did, but some of the plays that he's able to make where you guys can get going one way and then he's just gone 30 yards the opposite direction. How much of a luxury can that be at times when you just need that spark, and how much is that obviously a backbreaker for opponents when they feel like they've got things contained and all of a sudden he's gone?
Yeah, it's tough. So it's, on the 4th and 8, he sprung one for 25, and he had another one on 3rd down. And it's funny because I joked with him last year about the Mike Vick experience, because we had something similar with Juwan. Two similar guys have different strengths, and Braylon looked at me like I was crazy, and so I had to compare it to Lamar Jackson sometimes. And he does a good job. His eyes are always downfield. We even had one where he hit Jace Babineau deep for a pass, illegal man downfield, but his eyes are always open, looking to get other people the ball. But sometimes Seven just has to take over, and that's what he did tonight at times.
At this time last year, y'all had been through so many ups and downs and adversity and all these things. To go into district 4-1 against the quality of competition y'all faced all the way through, and now to open district this way, how good do you feel about just where you guys are through 6 weeks and knowing where you obviously want to be come December?
Absolutely. We don't prep we prep 1 week at a time in hopes that we're here long enough to play to December. And what we've done with our strength of schedule, and people can say it's too tough or we shouldn't be playing those teams. At the end of the day, last year we were 6-7 going into Dunham and prepared to win that game. Same thing this year. We just happen to make a couple more plays at the end, and I think that's a testament to our leadership, our older guys that have been through it. All of our seniors played significant snaps last year, and now the moment's not too big for them.
And I guess leave you with this. You mentioned Jaden. For him to be a guy that's atop a list like tackles for loss for a career and hear his name mentioned as surpassing a guy like Melvin, who he's well aware was such a dude here for years, what can you say about his career and what he's brought to this program through the last few years?
Man, it's crazy because that's a kid that came here and we were toying him at different positions. Is he going to be a running back? Is he going to be an inside linebacker? And he played inside linebacker for 2 years and then made the transition to defensive end last year. And Coach Kraft really helped with that, understanding the importance of, look, just because you're on the front line doesn't mean you can't go make plays. And he's done a tremendous job. And when our statistician Hayden told me that going into, he's like, man, he's got a chance to break. And I was like, there's no way. And you look at it and it's like, man, he had 5 tackles for loss last week and then 3 the week before. And so he's a hard worker. He does not talk a whole lot, and he's just going to give you everything he's got.